Welcome back to Exploring Whiskey. Tonight, Michter's Barrel Strength Rye. It's a bottle I've been looking for a long time, and I found it at a good price recently, and yeah, we're going to give it a go, tell you what we think.
Michter's has a very long
old
history. So we're talking going back to 1753. It was not called Michter's at that point. It's been called a lot of different things at various different points. I know it was, but was it
Baumburgers?
Baumburgers was the name of the company at one point. It's changed hands. It's grown out of business. Ultimately, it started in Pennsylvania. It now is in Kentucky. But when it got relaunched in the 90s, in the late 90s, it got relaunched. The person who bought the brand and all that came up with the name. And the name is purely a dedication to his two sons. His two sons were Michael and Peter. Michter. That's where the name actually comes from, is related to the person who refounded the company in the 1990s. But this is a company that has long history.
1753. And that's probably what, the third distillery that does something like that? Penelope is
named after the daughter.
Who else does a blend of names?
I want to say you're right, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. The barrel strength rye, interesting. It's all their barrel strength ryes are single barrel, but they don't really put it on the front much. It is listed on the back. It does say single barrel on the back. So I have no idea what the deal is there. The other fun part is their rye is sourced.
Okay.
It's not theirs. Yep. So, and they don't release a mash blend. So we don't know much and nothing.
We know it's at least the majority is rye. Maybe. We have to.
Over 51% has to be rye grain. That's correct. Okay. So we know that. That's about all we know. We know it's at least 4 year because it is, there's no age statement, but it is straight rye.
All right.
So we know that. And
saw that it goes in at 101 is what I was reading?
Yeah, 101, 103, something like that. They put it in really low. This particular release ended up at 110.
110.
And if you're keeping score out there, the barrel is 24. I want to say that's a B0894. Not the easiest thing to read.
So we're thinking it's this year's.
It's probably this
year's
most current release. Most current batch.
I got a feeling. I'm not saying this
guy
doesn't
I've had their regular rye, and it's great. It's pretty good rye.
Yeah.
So I was interested when you're like, I got the barrel strength one. I'm like, ooh, that could be good.
Oh, as soon as I tasted it, I was like, this guy is,
Yeah. Good,
not saying you don't like ryes, but you might not have the same affinity I do. Yeah. Wait till you get in this guy.
Well, definitely the pepper note is coming through. It's not an herbally rye. It's more the pepper side. There's some baking spice in there as well.
It's bready. I was going to say toasty.
Toasted? Yeah. Toasted bread, maybe like toasted rye bread.
Yeah. There's some good, sugary notes though,
There's a sweetness, but right now the rye is the primary note, and I can't get below it, so I'm kind of hoping after the sip, then all the sweetness, I'll get past the rye and get into the sweet part.
Gotcha.
That's my goal. That has a lot of sweetness on the palate.
Yeah.
There is a spice. I don't know if it's pepper spice, but there's a spice. Woohoo! And a warmth.
Yes. Yeah.
Big hug right down the center of the chest. Ooh, yeah, just really warm.
The spice is interesting because it's peppery, but it's baking spice. It kind of changes on the palate then to the finish.
Wow.
Lingers though. Oh,
yeah. The oil is really nice on that. That's definitely kind of lingering around and holding on. A little bit of the drools going on.
Yes.
Those didn't change much. I was really I thought I might be able to get past that spice and the rye note.
Citrus? You get a little citrus maybe on the nose?
Possible. Orange rind of some sort, like a little bit more of a, not super sweet citrus.
Maybe like a candied orange. Man, that's good.
Candied orange.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow. That's great. I really like that. I love the baking spice, but there's not to compare it, but there's some bourbon notes going on. Like there's some good barrel char. There's
definitely barrel impact, which for saying they don't age state it is a little funny because it makes me think like
it's pretty dark.
It's dark.
Dark.
It's
mid to dark.
It kind of feels 7-ish maybe.
Yeah.
Years old, like somewhere's in that ballpark, which is a nice spot for a rye. That's where anytime where most of the time where I find a rye where I'm like, okay, that's starting to get pretty tasty, it's usually that 7-ish year mark is where it starts to convert over to bring in a little bit more of the sugars to balance the spice.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. 6, 7, 8 years is, yeah.
But yeah, there's a little oak tobacco, like a little bit of age notes. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
The finish is great. Oh, it just lingers and
it really does. And
really
your mouth is just watering and it's all very nice. All right. There's a lot of oil in this. This could go one of two ways. It's either going to really kick up that rye, or if it might release the proof, and then go sweet. I don't know. I have no idea.
The proof is nice on this. I think
it's a good proof.
Plays well.
110 is just about like, I think for ryes, anything higher than that starts to get like overwhelming.
It's aggressive for you.
It's very aggressive.
Yeah.
But at 110, it's nice proof and doesn't get totally ramped up with the spice. All right, now that smells more like bourbon.
I was gonna say holy gingerbread there. That's sugar snappy.
That turned into a high rye bourbon.
Oof.
There's like a, is it caramel or vanilla? I'm not sure what it is, but there's a sweetness that's coming into that too with the baking spices.
It's like right down the road, right down the middle of both of those notes. I mean, I could say you get both of them. I don't know if that's more of a brown sugar.
Oh, at the top, that's really sweet. That goes really vanilla at the very top. Vanilla baking, like it's some kind of a spiced cookie.
Spiced cookie.
Really heavy vanilla cookie.
Yeah. Well, that really tamed the palate. At the beginning, it was just really soft, but then it kicks in.
But still a hug.
Yeah.
Still a hug that kind of comes down the middle of the chest, but not as much of a, like the lingering spice off of it being needed. Water kind of just softens some of the sharper edges on this guy.
Yeah, it softened it up. It brought out some good sweetness with the, some of that bready notes that you're going with. It's a delicious really sweet cookie.
That's really nice.
Oh.
It almost reminds me your sugar cookie like syrup, how it's kind of got spices, but it's also really sweet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in a whiskey form. Ish.
Maybe I make a sugar cookie. No.
This is not the cheapest bottle. So he got a good price on it.
Yeah, got it for
MSRP, to my knowledge, for everything I could find, was about $130 now.
Yeah.
I think when they first launched, it was closer to $100, but it's about $130 MSRP right now.
Yeah, it's gone up slowly.
You can find this under $200. It's a good buy. Michter's does not put out huge quantities.
Right.
So it tends to get secondary pricing pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
On all their barrel strength stuff, on all their
10-year
aged stuff, like it
Toasted.
can get really crazy really fast for anything to do with Michter's.
Yeah, true.
So I'm gonna say under $200, which I know you were under $200.
Yeah.
It's a good buy and it's definitely worth it. I forgot about the aging with them. That might be what is adding the oak. It may not be that old. It may be 5 or 6 years old.
Younger.
The way they're aging in their warehouses, they force the temperatures. It's temperature controlled. So they cycle heat and cold throughout seasons. So they accelerate the heat and the cold even within like the colder seasons or the hot seasons.
Interesting.
So that could be why there's an oak note, an age note to it,
and the deeper color.
It might only be 5 years old.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But I forgot they do that. They do.
Wow.
Very expensive to do.
I wonder what the temperature fluctuation, if it's like rivaling, Texas.
Actual summer.
Yeah.
I doubt they're going anything higher than actual like Kentucky temperatures. I don't think they're. I don't think they're turning the heat on during the summer of Kentucky to get it to 130.
Top 5 ryes I've ever had. I have to say it's a bold statement, but it's unique. It's a bourbon. I think it will bring the bourbon people into ryes.
It's got a lot of good crossover notes to it.
It does.
Which makes me think there's probably a pretty decent amount of corn in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it, maybe it's 50 something, 60% rye, 30-ish% corn, something along those lines.
Dabble of malt.
Yeah, a little bit of malt in there.
If you find it, I've only seen it at museum stores I don't think I've ever seen it under $400.
Okay.
And then seeing it at, a little over 150. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
No, that drink's really, really nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to get the barrel strength bourbon.
Yeah.
That's probably drinks really well too.
Yeah, and I haven't tried the 10 years. I mean,
I've had the 10-year rye. It was delicious.
Really? I would say over here, 2 thumbs up. If you see it, you got to get it.
Yeah. If
or sample it if you can.
If you like ryes, this is a great rye. If you are on the fence with ryes, this is a really good rye.
Yeah.
It's still a rye though. I mean, there is baking spice and things like that. So if that totally you can't deal with that, I get that.
Yeah, no dill. You don't know dill going on. No mint. Yeah, I know you love that.
Yeah, there is not a dill. There's not a heavy mint. There's not a. This is more of the pepper side, but then there's so many sweet notes that kind of play into it.
Yeah.
And the baking spices come in really well. Very good bottle.
It's really balanced.
Nice grab.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks,
Very
man.
nice grab.
Yeah, I walked in and went like a tractor beam because I don't know. Like I said, I've looked for it and I'm thinking that's not the straight rye. It wouldn't be on this.
It would just
section.
be sitting on a
It
shelf.
would just be sitting right there. Yeah.
Well, before we head off, April, I got the T-shirt today.
Oh man,
I remember wearing the T-shirt. So
I think I missed something.
April 29th is World Make-A-Wish Day. In April, we like to try to raise funds for the Make-A-Wish Foundation for Middle Tennessee. Anything that you donate up to $500, I will match. We'll make sure that your dollars go even extra. It is a great organization. The wish that my son asked for was to be a YouTube star. Mm-hmm. They flew us out to California. We met with one of his favorite YouTubers. They did a whole video of his wish, which got over 1 million views. So I think that makes him a star.
Wow.
Right? Why not?
Yeah, that's awesome.
We do this channel as a nod to that wish. Got on YouTube basically because of everything that he went through and his wish. So we love that organization, and we would very much appreciate you supporting it with us.
To you, Jason.
Yeah, to Jason. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers on that one. And we gotta take a sip on the cheers.
Oh, that's right.
We would very much appreciate you if you would throw that little thumbs up at the bottom. Yep. Like this video. It helps with getting the algorithm to share our videos more, so that more people get to see our content. We'd very much appreciate that. Right up here, I will link up another Michter's video.
You guys done a couple.
We've done a couple different ones, so maybe the regular rye. See what the note difference is. So the Michter's regular rye will be linked right up there. And on that, thank you very much for watching. See you on the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.